Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today, and I hope you're ready for what we're going to read today. We have a whole bunch of stuff to read today, and I know it's definitely going to be an adventure. And I know I say that every episode's going to be an adventure, but I really mean it about today's episode. Like, it's going to be an adventure, and we've got a lot to read, so let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for letting my ex-boyfriend dump me when he thought that I had massive debt? I've been keeping an Excel workbook for years that I used to organize my personal finances. Every month it shows me the total expenses, total paid, and total remaining. It's not only helpful for budgeting and remembering when stuff is due, but it also removed a ton of anxiety that I have around money and the nightmares I used to have that I'd forget to pay something important. I used to have panic attacks, but they were cured by Excel. Every month I put half the money that I make into savings, IRA, HSA, vacation savings, quarterly tax savings, and an emergency fund. My only debt is about $500 of a surprise $1,500 vet bill, and my car loan, which has a payment of $200 per month, and that's going to be paid off next year. I could pay off the car and the vet right now, but having an emergency cushion that could pay all of my bills for 3 to 5 months makes me feel safe. I give myself an allowance every week of $150 that I can spend however I want to, like dates or movies or going out with friends. Since my ex and I were becoming a little bit more serious after 6 months, we had a discussion where we decided that if things progressed, our finances would be separated, and if we moved in together, we would both pay half of all the expenses. This would save us both a lot of money every month. Well, he used my laptop where I kept the Excel document minimized. He accidentally brought it up, and here's where the conflict began. I put everything on my credit card every month. I really want to be able to travel, and getting mile rewards is the only way that I can justify the expensive flights. So I put everything. My rent, groceries, gas, utilities, even my quarterly taxes on it. Last year, I was even able to redeem a ticket for a friend to go with me to France. I covered all the flights as well as half of the Airbnb. I can't put the car payment or the vet bill on the card, but everything else goes on my miles card, which I then pay off a couple of days after paying my bills when the balance settles. I put the amount that would generally equal my credit card balance after paying the bills in the spreadsheet as well, mainly as a reminder to pay the balance because I'm paranoid that I'll forget to pay it 1 month. Remember, this is a therapeutic spreadsheet. However, he saw all of my expenses laid out and the total at the bottom and thought that my expenses were nearly double what they are, since the total includes the credit card payment. I guess he also assumed that the credit card payment was the monthly payment or something, which would have made the balance insane. He also noted that I had Macy's, Victoria's Secret, and Best Buy lines in the spreadsheet, and he assumed that I had maxed out retail cards, although the amount to pay was at zero. I leave them to remind me of the due date, in case I use them to get something discounted. So he stewed on it for a few days, and then sat me down, said that he had been thinking about what he found, and told me that he couldn't stay with me if I was going to be irresponsible, and that if I didn't start calling every credit card that I had right in front of him to cancel and shred the cards in front of him, then he would break up with me. He kept talking over me about it. I tried to tell him about my savings and the fact that my actual debt was less than $4,000. He didn't believe me, called me a liar, and said that he couldn't trust me, so he dumped me. Oh my god, dude. So OP's a liar, and you can't trust OP because you don't know how to read a spreadsheet. Take a hike, dude. I cried with some friends who were shocked, since I've sat down with several of them who've asked me to help set up a similar system of their own to help pay down debt and to start saving. I guess the truth got back to him. He was mad that I let him break up with me. Hey, OP tried to tell you the truth, but you called OP a liar and said that you couldn't trust them. Oh, this is infuriating. Even though he makes more than me, I'm much better off than him apparently, and he's really upset since if we moved in together, I would have been completely capable of covering my half, and he would have liked that I had a pretty large chunk in savings. I had also told him that I would get us both tickets to Italy for our 1-year anniversary. I honestly don't know if I'm an a-hole or not. I could have explained the situation more clearly and calmly, and been a little bit more forthcoming and transparent with my finances from the start. However, the moment that I was confronted, I felt completely blindsided. I felt like my privacy had been violated, and I felt that receiving an ultimatum without even hearing me out was a deal breaker for me. But now my friends are expressing that I may be passing up a nice guy over a misunderstanding, and that if his assumptions were correct, he would have been right. I feel like I don't want to spend time with somebody who would talk to me that way, but maybe I should work a little harder to make it work. Am I the a-hole? Edit, I went to work and I'm now shocked at how many people responded. I want to say thank you to everybody who responded. I haven't even begun to read through everything, and I doubt that I'll be able to reply to everybody. Money's a very loaded topic for me, and I was concerned that I was blowing something way out of proportion, and I'd regret it someday. I really appreciate getting affirmation that I'm making a good decision. It's made me have far less anxiety over the situation. I'm going to see some of my friends this weekend, and I think I'm going to tell them that I'm done with the relationship, and I'm also done second guessing myself. I don't think I'll get any pushback. My friends are just worried for me. I may update after that conversation if there's anything interesting to report back, and if I figure out how to make an update. Finally, I've been asked many times for copies of my spreadsheet. I don't know how to share them, and even a screenshot feels weirdly private, like uploading a picture of my underwear drawer. My advice, and the advice I give friends, is to start with just entering your bills and the amount that you pay, copy that sheet to another tab and add from there, adapt it to your own preferences. I started with the savings counter, where I updated the grand total of how much I had across different savings after my contributions every month, but it actually did the opposite of motivate me. The number never felt like it was growing, and it's way more rewarding to me to check the balances individually and see them grow that way. You may be the opposite. One friend of mine uses a bullet journal style with pens and stickers because Excel overwhelmed her and she felt more mindful copying things by hand every month. Make your own spreadsheet. I think it's an important part of the process. But start. It may be wrong, but you'll find what works for you. Okay, so the boyfriend had no idea how to read a spreadsheet, and then we ended the post by talking about spreadsheets. In the comment section, it is definitely a not the a-hole consensus. Pretty much everybody saying that OP dodged a bullet. Yeah, like the top comment. Not the a-hole, and you dodged a real bullet. You can't build a life with somebody whose first instinct is to accuse you and dump you. You told him the truth, he refused to believe you. Do you realize how f***ed up that is? If my husband found something like this and misunderstood, he wouldn't even dream of doing this. He would simply want to discuss it with me. His reaction tells you everything you need to know about him. He's only mad now because you could be paying half of the bills and he could be saving more money. Don't even think about going back to this guy. Yeah, because OP tried to be like, hey, that's not what's going on. I'm not in that much debt. But then what did he do? Call OP a liar and say, I can't trust you. Like if all he's going to do is jump to conclusions, then you can't help him. The second top comment says you saved yourself from a partner who can't even handle an adult discussion and may leave you at the drop of a hat. He also doesn't have personal introspection or accountability. Yeah, and the comment below that, do you want to commit to a guy who can't read an Excel doc? Yeah, that's what started all of this. The fact that he didn't know how to read it. Like, hey bro, if you knew how to read this, you probably wouldn't have freaked out over nothing. The comment below that says he didn't believe me, called me a liar, and said that he couldn't trust me, so he dumped me. Do you want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't trust you? You dodged a bullet, not the a-hole. OP said this is what I thought too. If he would have just talked it over with me, I would have understood. But I hated the way that he talked over me and wouldn't let me explain. I hit the point where I was crying and I couldn't even express myself, but he kept on talking over me. It made me feel like a little kid being punished. Yeah, and also this comment. And that if I didn't start calling every credit card that I had right then in front of him to cancel and shred the cards in front of him, then he'd break up with me. Seriously, this is so controlling. Yeah, that's so bad. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Okay, post number 2. Am I the a-hole for not skipping a work trip because my husband is recovering from a hair transplant? My husband flew overseas for a hair transplant. We have 2 children under 7. I work full-time in a stressful corporate role. He never plans or researches in advance. I'm supposed to go on a work trip for 2 days to a 2-day work planning retreat. It's an important exposure. He will be post-op for 3 days by the time I leave. Last night he texted me that he needed me to cancel my trip because he's recovering from surgery and to put him first. And I'm gonna be beyond mad if you do this to me and don't put me first the one time that I'm asking. And if I go, he won't take the kids to school. His head may be sore and bald, but should not impede a pickup and a drop-off. My trip's been planned for about 6 months. His main gripe is that he'll be seen so close to surgery. He did not need to choose this date, and up until yesterday, this was the plan. He told me that my trip is stupid. I put everybody first, but I don't think I need to stay home and miss something so important for this. And I also think it's selfish to be saying this to me. I'm always impacted by his last-minute changes and impulses. I'm supportive of doing something that makes him feel better about himself, but why should I miss this last minute? Am I being selfish or is he being selfish? Him for sure. Yeah, the top comment. He's being selfish as hell for trying to guilt you over a hair transplant that he planned poorly. Go on your trip. He'll survive. Yeah, and for him to say, I'm gonna be beyond mad if you do this, get out of here, dude. The second top comment says if he could fly home overseas, he's fine. The comment below that says not the a-hole. He can fly home from overseas after having a hair transplant, but can't take the kids to school and feed them? Ridiculous. Vanity's not not a reason to not care for your kids. Yeah, that's so lame of him to say if OP goes, he won't take the kids to school. Like what, dude? How frustrating. This comment says kidney transplant, liver transplant, heart and lung transplant, or a surgery that's medically necessary and is a life or death situation. Yeah, then you should cancel. A hair transplant that he booked in a different country for no reason besides his own vanity? Nah, have a good trip. The comment above that one says a hissy fit over a hair transplant? Oh my god, girl, go on your trip. Welcome to a woman's world, sir, where we're expected to push through regardless of how crappy we feel on the daily basis, including being responsible for household maintenance and cleaning and shopping and meal prep and childcare. Grow up. Sorry that I hit the post button too soon. Grow up, man-child. Yeah, very much a not the a-hole consensus. Okay, the next one. Am I the a-hole for telling a woman at the gym that she's embarrassing herself? I go to the gym a lot. About 6 months ago, I noticed a woman that I'll call Andrea. That's not her real name, but it will be for the rest of the post. I don't know if Andrea started going to the gym 6 months ago, or if that's only when I started to notice her. Full disclosure, I spoke to her first, but I had no way of knowing what the result would be. A lot of the machines at this gym have little entertainment systems attached to them that can access local channels. I got on a treadmill and I realized the TV on the treadmill wasn't working. Andrea was walking past and I said, "Hey, do you know if there's an issue with the cable? This TV's not working, but I don't know if it's just this one or all of them." She said the same thing happened to her on a different machine. I thanked her. That was the whole interaction. A week later, she asked me for some electrolyte powder for her water. I said I didn't have any. She was cool with that and asked me how long I'd been coming to the gym and what I did for work. I answered and I returned her questions. She said that she was new to the area and worked in private security, and we had a few more chill conversations after that. 6 weeks ago, she asked me out. For reasons I won't get into here, I wasn't interested. I declined. She said not to worry about things being awkward at the gym if we don't work out. I said that wasn't the issue. I'm just not looking to date right now. She kept talking to me, and at first I kept talking to her, but I started to think something might be wrong. I started avoiding her. 2 weeks ago, she walked up to me while I was on a machine that only had one way to properly dismount that involved stepping into where she was standing. She asked me if I was avoiding her. I said I was and I apologized. I said that I just don't want to date right now. She said that I don't have to avoid her to not date her. I said okay. I kept on avoiding her though. Tonight while I was working out, she confronted me again about avoiding her. I had a bad day that day and I told her to leave me alone. She asked me why I'm being such a prick, and I said because I wanted her to leave me alone. I then said she was embarrassing herself and she needs to stop. She put her foot on top of the weights and I thought she was about to press down on them. So I let go of the bar very quick, causing the weights to slam and make a loud noise. Several people then looked over. She said, "Now who's embarrassing himself?" and walked away. Did I go too far by saying that? Do I owe her an apology? Update, I went in early this morning for a run and I told the front desk staff about Andrea putting her foot on the weights. They said they'd talk to her. Then after work I went in again for a regular workout. I was working on my legs when she walked up to my machine. The first thing she did was apologize about the weights. I don't know if somebody talked to her or if that was of her own initiative. I accepted her apology and I apologized for saying that she was embarrassing herself. She said that she forgave me, but if I wanted to really make it up to her, I could buy her a drink and she would buy me one too to make up for the weights. I said maybe we should buy our own drinks, meaning separately at different places and different times, and she misunderstood me and asked me when and where. I told her that I meant that I didn't want to go out with her. She said that this wouldn't be a date but a reset for our friendship. I said I didn't want to be friends. She said that I was being a douche and asked me what my problem is. I said the weight incident made me uncomfortable and I'd rather just give each other space. She then asked me if my problem with her is that she's Hispanic. I was so taken aback. I didn't even know that she was until she said that. I said no, that she just makes me uncomfortable. She wanted me to explain what about her made me uncomfortable, and I tried to do so, but she argued with every point that I made. I got frustrated and I told her to stay away from me. She said fine, and that I have a lot of maturing to do, and then she walked away. I'm hoping that's the end of it. It definitely was not the end of it. Update. Andrea's banned from the gym. I was running on the treadmill and watching TV. She came up to talk to me, and I ignored her staring at the TV. She raised her voice and I continued to ignore her. She reached out and pulled the safety tab out of the treadmill, the one that you connect to your wrist so the treadmill stops if you fall, causing the treadmill to come to a sudden stop. I tripped and I fell onto the controls and the TV, scratching my chin on the top of the screen. I went to the front desk with Andrea following me. I told them what she did. She kept on trying to interrupt me and talk over me, but the woman at the front desk told her to be quiet and wait her turn. I told her Andrea pulled out the safety tab while I was running and injured me. The woman at the front front desk then asked Andrea what happened. Andrea said that I was staring into the middle distance like I was in some kind of fugue state, and she thought I was having a medical episode, so she pulled the tab.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
The woman at the front desk asked for her membership card. Andrea didn't want to give it to her, but the woman at the front desk said that if she didn't, she would ban her. Andrea gave her the card, and the woman at the front desk said to leave, and that she was suspended for a month. Andrea objected and got into an argument with the woman at the front desk that escalated into Andrea calling the woman an N-word and a B-word, so she was banned permanently. I hesitate to call that a happy ending because the poor gym employer had to put up with racial harassment, but I won't deny getting to watch her cut up Andrea's membership card felt good. Wow, what did we just read? Oh my god. Yeah, the top comment, still not the a-hole. Andrea proved herself to be crazy with a side of racist. Yeah, and what OP said. And the irony is that she accused me of being racist for not wanting to date her. Yeah, that really escalated. This comment says, well, at least Andrea figured out how to actually cancel a gym membership. And OP said, maybe that was her plan all along. Who knows? And the comment below that says, that woman's nuts. Bring the gym lady a small gift. And OP said, that's a great idea. Oh no, there's another update. Update, Andrea the gym nut. So last night I went to a bar near my apartment to meet up with some friends. The three of us were drinking and having a good time when Andrea walked up. I never saw her enter the bar. I only noticed her when she was in front of us. She greeted me and said it was good to see me, and she leaned in to try to kiss me. What? I pushed her away from me and she fell, but one of my friends caught her. She started yelling and asking what the wrong with me. I told her to stay away from me and not come any closer. She asked if I was embarrassed of her and didn't want my friends to see her. Oh no. I said, this is the third time that you've tried to assault me and I want you to stay away from me. At that point, the bouncer showed up to ask me what was going on. Andrea said that I pushed her. I tried to explain that she tried to kiss me and is stalking me, but I was drunk and not doing a great job. My friend also tried to explain that I was innocent, but they were also drunk. Security kicked me out of the bar. My friends walked me home. I'm definitely gonna try to get a restraining order. This has gone way too far. Oh no, this is terrible. This is not the update that I wanted to read. Everybody was saying that in the comments on the other post too. Like, this sounds like somebody that would stalk you, and she is stalking OP? No, that's so bad. Okay, so that post was 8 days ago. There's no other updates at the moment. Oh god, this one's terrifying. The top comment on this update says she's stalking you, and it's gonna get worse. If she tries to follow you again, please call the police. Ask your gym for video footage of Andrea purposely sabotaging your workouts, purposely trying to injure you and following you around. This situation's insane, and it's escalating from following you around the gym to full-on intruding into your personal life. Does she have any of your social media? If so, definitely block her, as clearly she's starting to learn your patterns and outside hobbies. Be safe. Yeah, all the best OP, and please be safe. Okay, moving on. Would I be the a-hole if I reject naming my baby after my fiance's dying sister? I'm 30 female, pregnant with our first. My fiance 31 male, and I have been planning to get married for a while now, and we settled on next year. The reason for this is sad, and I'm not blaming her at all for this, but his sister has cancer. Every time we planned for something, she would get sicker, and we'd put the plans on hold. We decided on next year because then we'll be together for 10 years, and we thought it'd be cute to do it on our anniversary. The sister also seemed to start getting better, and we were so happy. But as it turns out, she's not getting better, and we got the surprise of a lifetime getting the news that we were pregnant. My fiance was so excited. He told his parents. They live with the sister in another country. We found out before we got the news about how bad it's going for her. But since we found out, his mother and him as well have been dropping hints that we should name the baby after his sister. Oh no. They already gave me some options if it's a boy or if it's a girl. Luckily not naming the child her name directly, but they give variations of it, and I don't want to. I haven't liked a single name they've proposed. I don't want to be the now and say no while everybody's waiting for her to pass, but I also want this to stop. We don't even know the damn gender yet, and I don't want my child to be a reminder of an aunt that they'll never meet if she does pass before my due date. So would I be the a-hole if I don't name my baby after her? And with that, tell them now while they're grieving? Edit or mini update. Last night, mother-in-law called to tell us about sister-in-law's condition. She again mentioned maybe naming baby after sister-in-law before she passes, so sister-in-law can pass at ease. I told her firmly but gently that I think we should rather for now focus on sister-in-law's condition and not baby names. names. There's enough time for that. Mother-in-law agreed but gave 2 more names to consider. I said that I would, but fiance is mad at me asking why we can't just indulge his mother in this time of grief. Like this comment says, not the a-hole, it's your baby, it's not a grief monument. You can love and honor his sister without naming your kid after her. Shut it down gently but firm. There's AITA group project. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's all well and good if you want to, but you don't want to. And I feel like your baby should be left out of it. Like that comment says, it's your baby, not a grief monument. You can love and honor his sister without naming your kid after her. Yeah, end of story. The second top comment says, no a-holes except mother-in-law. If your fiance wants to honor his sister, I think you should discuss ways of doing that. It's his baby too. Middle names are commonly used to honor cherished family or friends. Maybe use one of the names as a middle name. I've got 2 middle names that are from relatives I never met, but I'm honored to have that connection to my past. My first name is my own and what I go by day to day. This comment says maybe a compromise. Ask the sister-in-law what some of her favorite names are. Maybe you might like one of those names, and then you can tell the rest of her family that she named the baby. And the response says, it's a kind suggestion, but how sad for OP. Instead of enjoying the pleasure and excitement of naming her baby like most mothers do, her options are to be guilted into a namesake that she doesn't like, or to let somebody else name her child. That's really, really sad for OP. And the response says, seriously, the baby is a completely separate matter from the sister. Why are they, and so many people in these comments, trying to blend the two? It's one very sad situation and one very happy situation. They do not need to be forced to relate. OP's got a comment that says he is into it, but I think it's only grief. Before this, he didn't want family names or variations of it. He said that he doesn't like to be reminded of somebody else. He also hates his own names and changed it as soon as he turned 18 because his parents named him after somebody that he never met. So I think he's going along because of his grief, and I'm 90% sure that once he's gotten a more clear view, he won't like the names. And the response to that says, an impending death can change your view on things you disliked before. If he wants it, really wants it, then you need to discuss it with him and not on Reddit. And the comment below that says, while I can appreciate the sentiment of your fiance wanting to honor his sister, your child deserves their own name. Using a variation of her name as a middle name would be a good compromise. This comment says, no a-holes, these folks are anticipating a painful loss and they're trying to find ways to cope. I personally find the gesture beautiful, but it's not my kid. And at the same time, you both have to like names. It can't just be one of you. Would you concede to a middle name for the child after the aunt or some other variation? That would be a good compromise. I think everyone should consider something like that. And OP said, I am open to middle names, but I'm afraid that his mother would keep naming the child that and not respecting the first name. Yeah, from what I can see here, it's definitely a not the a-hole consensus. Yeah, I hope you and your partner can come to a compromise, OP. Okay, moving on. Am I the a-hole for not reheating dinner for my husband after 10? I became a stay-at-home mum recently. It's a decision that me and my husband agreed upon. However, I have set limits on how much I'm required to do and for how long, because I feel like even though I'm a wife and a mother, I'm still a woman who needs time and space to look after myself. I can't take care of my family when I can't even take care of myself. So I told my husband that at 10 p.m. I'm done with chores and that he shouldn't expect me to do anything after that. He was like, yeah, whatever you say. Last night he had a long shift and came home at 10:15. I was in the bathroom applying a face mask when he came in and asked that I reheat his dinner. I said no. He asked why not. I told him to check his watch and he would know. He paused and then laughed and said that I was being ridiculous. I said that we had an agreement, but he argued that I was acting manipulative and selfish. We started fighting verbally and then he ended up texting his mum, telling her about what I'd done, or didn't do for that matter. He went to his mummy. Oh my god. She started texting me, basically lecturing me about how selfish and petty about the 10:15 thing, and said that I was setting a bad example for my daughter and teaching her to become self-centered and selfish. I decided that I wasn't going to talk to her, and my husband has refused to even stay at home and went to a friend's house. What? Oh, this is ridiculous. I feel horrible. Maybe I shouldn't have done this to make a point, but we had an agreement. Am I the a-hole? OP, he went to his mummy because you wouldn't reheat his dinner. Are you telling me that all he had to do was reheat it? And the fact that you wouldn't do that meant that he went and complained to his mum and got his mum to text you telling you that you're being selfish. He went and tattletaled to his mummy. What the hell did we just read? Yeah, the top comment, he called his mum girl. The comment below that says, but he argued that I was acting manipulative and selfish, So he texted his mummy to get mummy to dogpile on his wife. Come on. Maybe he can go live with his mummy. Tell mummy to come get her husband. Son-husband hybrid. She can have him, not the a-hole. And all over reheating some food. He didn't even have to make his own bloody food. He just had to heat it up. This is awful. The comment under that, not the a-hole, texting mother about not reheating dinner. Such a crybaby. The comment under that says stop. He called his mum, and now we know the root cause issue. Tell him that he can grow the up and hit reheat on the microwave, or he can move back home to nuzzle mummy's for sustenance. You're his wife, not the woman that fixes his bar. Personally, I would have heated my husband's food if he finished an exhausting shift. I did that for him when he was on a project working 14-hour days, but that's because I'm married to an adult that appreciated it and not expected me to be his mother. Tell his mum that when you want her advice, you'll talk to her directly. Right now, you're trying to raise the man baby that she created. Yeah, this is unbelievable. And he doesn't even stay at home anymore. He's staying with his friend because he thinks OP is so in the wrong for not heating up his dinner. Oh, what a joke. The comment under that says can't reheat his own dinner. Get wife to do it. Can't win an argument with wife. Text mummy. Get told off for involving others in their relationship. Runs away. Yeah, I know who's setting a bad example for the daughter. It's not OP, not the a-hole. So I'm assuming that OP made him dinner and all he had to do was heat it up. Like no gratitude for the fact that OP made dinner. He's upset because he had to heat it up, which would have taken how much time and effort? Like barely any. I can't get over the fact that he went immediately to his mum to get his mum to guilt trip OP and call OP selfish and say that they're setting a bad example. That is so terrible. And from what I can see here, it's definitely a not the a-hole consensus. I'm so stuck on the fact that he went to his mum and then went to stay with a friend over this because he didn't want to reheat his dinner. Oh my god. A response to the top comment says, I'm stuck on him running off to a friend. I can't imagine a friend of mine showing up at my place to crash at past 10 p.m. because his wife wouldn't heat up his dinner. Is his friend gonna do it? And the response says, if I were his friend, I'd be telling him that sometimes life sucks and he knows how to use a microwave and to grow up. And the response says, I'm stuck at where he passes the kitchen to ask his wife to reheat dinner. I think he confused stay-at-home wife with a round-the-clock maid. Yeah, what did we just read? Yeah, so if my husband disagrees with me, he gets his mummy to guilt trip me. Come on. Okay, the next one that we're gonna read. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that her hobby is actually hurting our finances? My wife, 31 female, got into crafting and online selling during the pandemic. At first, it was a fun outlet. Now she spends hundreds every month on supplies for projects that barely sell. Last month, she made $72 and spent $430. I, 33 male, work full-time, cover most of the bills, and I asked her to maybe scale it back until she's profitable. She got really upset, accused me of not believing in her, and said that I crushed her creative spirit. I tried to be gentle, but we're trying to save for a house, and I feel like I'm working overtime while she's building a money pit. Now she won't even talk to me about the budget, and I'm wondering if I was too harsh. Am I the a-hole for pointing out the financial reality? Yeah, definitely doesn't sound like you were too harsh. What did you say? I asked her to maybe scale it back until she's profitable. Yeah, that's not you not believing in her. You're being like, hey, last month you spent $430, but you only profited $72. Like, can we talk about that maybe? You never said that you didn't believe in her. It's only that at the moment what she's doing is losing money. So like there should definitely be some communication there. But she's not willing to talk about it. It says there now she won't even talk to me about the budget and said that OP crushed her creative spirit. From what I can see, most of the comments are not the a-hole. Also, what is she spending money on? My wife got into crafting and online selling during the pandemic. Now she spends hundreds every month on supplies for projects that barely sell. Right, okay. Yeah, well, if she doesn't want to lose all of her money, she definitely needs to dial it back. There's not too much information here, but it does seem like a not the a-hole consensus. This comment says, does she have an actual job? If not, ask her to get one. She can still make and sell her products, and you can encourage her that once her sales go up, that can be her only job. Most artisans have to work a regular job in the beginning because it takes time to learn marketing and gain a client base. What is she making? This comment says kinda depends on the circumstances. Like if she spent $400 on tools to do the craft and $30 on materials and made $70, that's not too bad. Next month month she still has the tools and the bill won't be as huge. If she spent $430 on materials and only sold for $70, that's bad. Unless next month she still has a lot left and doesn't need to spend. And the response says she started during COVID. I'm assuming that she has the tools by now. This comment says, having a business bank account that's only funded by sales is a great way to look at as a business. After all, if there's no money in the bank account, you can't buy supplies. She's probably angry and upset because she knows that she is losing money. However, maybe dial her into the family goals and financials. Maybe have a meeting every month. Source, I have an Etsy shop. It's been successful, unsuccessful, treading water at times. I have to moderate my supplies budget as well. Yeah, not saying that it's the same as this, but back in the day, I used to buy so many boxes of Pokemon cards, and if I got a card that I didn't want, but I also knew that it was a good card, I would be like, okay, I'll sell this card on eBay. But then I was like, well, you know, this is kind of a business. So now I can buy more Pokemon cards. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a business. I was just buying a lot of Pokemon cards because I wanted to buy a lot of Pokemon cards. Okay, the next one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my wife for having an affair when she claims the affair partner lied that I was sleeping with his mum? I'm using pseudonyms. I, 55 male, discovered evidence that my wife Jennifer, 53 female, was having an affair with Nathan, 23 male. When I confronted her, she was aggressive and argumentative. Hold up a second, so you're 55, she's 53, and was having an affair with this guy Nathan that's 23? She said that I have no reason to act all high and mighty because I was sleeping with our neighbor and Nathan's mum, Naomi, 47 female. Jennifer was shocked when I provided proof that I wasn't. Jennifer then claimed that Nathan had manipulated her into having an affair. She said that she felt insecure about her age and weight. She said that she thought I didn't find her attractive anymore. She said that Nathan told her that I was sleeping with his mum. She said Nathan told her that he couldn't believe anybody would cheat on her because she's so beautiful. She claimed that he made her feel loved. Jennifer showed me messages where Nathan had referenced my alleged affair with his mum. I had moved out of my house. Jennifer's been begging me to forgive her. She keeps on referring to the fact that she was tricked, and I still can't forgive her for what she did. Am I the a-hole? What did we just read? The top comment says she's the a-hole. She heard something about you from her affair partner and then chose to blindly believe it without even confirming a word that he was saying. Dude was looking to get laid and blow up your marriage. Your wife walked right into that. She doesn't get a pass for being a moron. And the response says, exactly. She didn't just fall for the lie. She trusted a 23-year-old over her husband without even asking questions. That's not manipulation, that's willful stupidity. The comment under that says, here's what it boils down to. It doesn't matter what she thought. She's not taking accountability for her actions. She chose to cheat and she needs to own that. She could have left, she could have confronted you, she had a million options. She never had to choose to cheat on you. Yeah, pretty much all the comments are saying the same sort of stuff, and definitely are not the a-hole consensus. And also, what were the ages? 23 and 53. That's a 30-year difference. Their age gap is 4 years older than me. A comment below that says, not the a-hole, it may be true that she was manipulated, but you deserve the right to forgive or not to forgive. She should have confronted you about the cheating first, before deciding to hop into bed with the guy. Okay, moving on. Am I the a-hole for keeping my entire inheritance when my siblings did nothing for our parents? I, 45 female, recently lost both of my parents within a year. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. For the past 10 years, I was their primary caregiver. I managed their finances, I drove them to doctor's appointments, I cooked, I cleaned. I was there for them emotionally in everything. My two siblings, David, 48 male, and Lisa, 42 female, lived out of state and they hardly ever visited. They had stable jobs and they could have helped, but mainly they just called sometimes and said that they were too busy to do anything else. When the will was read, it said that I would inherit the entire estate. It's not a huge amount, but my parents wanted me to have it to help secure my future, since I was the one who took care of them day in and day out. David and Lisa are furious, saying that it's unfair and that I should split it 3 ways. They keep on saying that family should stick together and accuse me of being greedy. I've told them I love our parents, but I carried the burden of their care alone for years, and the inheritance was meant to acknowledge that. And now they're threatening to sue. Wow, so they have the audacity to say that family should stick together when they weren't even in the picture. Like, really? They would call every now and then, but that's it. That's a bit rich. And yeah, of course they care now because there's money involved. God, that's so annoying and so insulting too. you? The top comment says, yep, family should stick together. So where were they when their parents needed them? Not the a-hole, you're good. I'm sorry for your loss. And OP said, thanks, I appreciate that. They weren't there when it counted, so I'm just doing what my parents wanted. Yeah, you're so not the a-hole, OP. The second top comment says, tell them, you're right, family should stick together. Mum and dad needed you and you were not here sticking with them. I took care of them. Where were you? And the comment below that says, get a good lawyer and let them sue. It was your parents' will, and really you even have no say in it. You can't just decide to split it 3 ways, and you shouldn't have to. And the comment below that says, not the a-hole, it's in the will. Let them sue. However, it also depends on how much you value your relationship with your siblings. Just understand that they might go no contact because of this. You'd still be not the a-hole, but just understand that that might be the outcome. And OP said, thank you for the heads up. I'm ready for whatever happens, but I've got to stick to what's right and what my parents wanted. Yeah, for sure, OP. The next one. Am I the a-hole for not hosting my friend's baby shower while I'm still recovering from having a baby? I, 30 female, had my first baby, a girl, 6 weeks ago. I knew that postpartum would be tough, but I wasn't ready for just how hard. I'm still recovering physically, barely getting any sleep. My hormones are all over the place, and I'm trying to keep up with the newborn. My friend Sarah, 31 female, is pregnant and due in a few months. She asked me to host her baby shower at my place. She said I've got a nice house and I'm good at planning stuff, and since I already have baby things around, it'd be easy. I told her gently that I'm just not up for it right now. I suggested other friends or offered to help pay for a venue, but I really can't host it myself. She didn't take it well, said that I'm making excuses, that it's not that hard, and now she's telling people that I'm being selfish since she threw my bridal shower years ago. I feel super guilty. Yeah, because she's guilt tripping you like crazy. But I also feel like I need to focus on healing and my baby. Am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. You're allowed to say no. And the fact that she didn't accept that and immediately started guilt tripping you and calling you selfish, saying that it's not that hard and you're making excuses, that is such an a-holey response. And you have no reason to feel guilty. The top comment says she said that I've got a nice house, I'm good at planning stuff, and since I already have baby things around, it'd be easy. For starters, you're not a party venue. She can't just choose to book her shower at your home because it happens to suit all of her needs. Tell her no, end of story. And also add, come see me when you're 6 weeks postpartum, and let me know how much you feel up to planning and hosting a party. Not the a-hole. And the second top comment says, lol. Screenshot her response and show it to her when she's home with a few-week-old. She'll be singing a wildly different tune. And plus, postpartum or not, hosting is a ton of time, expense, and effort. Somebody volunteering all that from somebody else is crazy entitled. Not the a-hole, but your friend definitely is. Yes, so entitled and so rude. Like, you don't need to feel guilty for saying no to this. And also, even if you didn't just have a baby, you can still say no. The comment below that says, telling somebody with a baby that it's not hard when yours is still in the oven is wild. That's a level of rudeness and entitlement that I'd be distancing myself over. Oh yeah, for sure. Not the a-hole, but oh boy, I'd have trouble not rubbing it in when she's in her newborn trenches. The one below that says, no, not the a-hole. Don't let her make you feel guilty about this. Caring for a newborn is huge, and it should be your focus at the moment. Your baby and your mental health comes first. Full stop. And OP said, thank you. I'm really trying to put my baby and my health first at the moment. It's not easy, but it has to be done. Yeah, you're so not the a-hole, OP. The next one. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother-in-law that he needs to book a hotel when he and my sister were staying at my house? My sister and her husband live across the country and decided they wanted to come and visit. I live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and I set up a bed in my home office because they wanted to stay at my house. They had been here for 4 days. The bathroom has been a big problem. He spends hours in there. Wow, okay. After the first day, I talked to my sister about it. She says that he has a condition where he needs the bathroom a lot, so I let it rest. On day 3, it was even worse. There was a time where I had to excuse myself to go to the store so that I could use the bathroom twice because he wouldn't leave. The last day, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I had to use the bathroom very bad. I knocked on the door and he said that he'd be out in a minute. I told him I really had to go. It took him him an hour to get out. The nearby store wasn't open at that time, and I had to do something that I'm not happy I had to because I couldn't wait. The next morning I told him that he needs to get a hotel. I can't be blocked from using the bathroom in my own home because he takes it hostage. I get that he has a condition, but so do I. And I make sure that I have my own bathroom when I travel so that I don't get in the way of other people needing it. My sister and the brother-in-law were very upset and called me ableist. I told them what I had to do last night because he was in the bathroom for so long, and they said that I could have held it. I told them they need to leave and find a hotel or stay with other family. He just can't stay here anymore. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister and brother-in-law that they need to get a hotel when the plan was for them to stay with me for a week? No, very much not the a-hole consensus. The top comment says shut off the Wi-Fi every time he heads to the loo. Not the a-hole. The second top comment says not the a-hole. If somebody needs to take up that much time in the bathroom, they 100% should be getting their own accommodations so that they've got a private bathroom. Forcing you to go to the store is insane. If brother-in-law really needs that much bathroom time and not just scrolling on his phone, the sister never should have asked to stay, knowing that it's a one bathroom house. And OP said, I have IBS and sometimes need the bathroom a lot, and that's why I always get a hotel or only stay at somebody's house if there's more than one bathroom. But unless it's impossible, I get a hotel. The next one and the last one for today. Am I the a-hole for not changing my baby's name? So I'm 8 months pregnant with a baby girl, and my husband and I have both been struggling to find a name that we both like. We asked family and friends during the pregnancy for ideas, and we even asked them for their dibs name to avoid using them. But my best friend never told me what her dibs name was because she was afraid that we or somebody close to us might like it and use it. We eventually found a name that we both, our husband and I, loved. When I told my friends and family, my best friend was super upset because it turns out it's her dibs name and she wants to use it for her future child. She's not pregnant right now and wants me to change it. But the thing is, I don't. I asked her many times and I respected her choice of not telling me the name, but I feel like it's not my fault. How was I supposed to guess or know that that was her name? Yeah, I am trying to find some alternative to the name, but once you really like something, it's hard not to think about it. And besides, it took us 8 months for us to decide a name. We don't have much more time until the baby comes. The top comment says not the a-hole. There's no such thing as a dibs name at all. Name your baby whatever you like and allow others to do the same. It's not a crime for two children to know each other to have the same first name. The second top comment says not the a-hole. You literally asked her so you didn't use it. She chose not to. Use it. Just realize that she still can use it. And frankly should. Don't get upset if she does. Names aren't owned. Yeah, all the comments are not the a-hole. And that's enough for today. We need to read something wholesome. Here's a basket full of baby otters, in case your life needed to see a basket full of baby otters. Look at those adorable little things. That is so beautiful. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. If you did, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. And the comment of the day goes to Strawberry Bell. I love how you've been doing your videos lately, not pressuring yourself to be on camera and uploading at your own pace. It's nice. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for that comment. I'm so happy that you guys don't mind. I've been having a bit of a hard time lately and I've been trying to sort of go easy on myself in terms of like my workload and stuff like that. Nothing in particular, just exhausted. It's nothing bad and I don't need to get into it, but yeah, I've been pretty overworked and definitely worked too much in the past. And now that's all sort of catching up with me, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm so grateful that you guys don't mind. And yeah, thank you for the support, everybody. I'm definitely completely fine and everything's completely fine. Just a bit exhausted. But yeah, that'll definitely pass. And in the meantime, I'm making things a little bit more manageable for myself. And thank you for the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!